One of the things that we find in the context of what drives impact is this notion of performance and health. People, I think, often tend to have one orientation that's dominant, right? They either tend to be much more performance-oriented, and it's all about the numbers and the results. And then you have another set of people that are really more health-oriented, right? Where it's much more about how are people feeling? Are we building capabilities? Are people inspired? And it's almost two different, lenses to look at the world. One of the things that we've realized, which at some level is obvious, is you need to do both, right? And when you think about impact essentials, it looks at how do you drive performance, but at the same time, how do you drive health? And the combination of those two things leads to sustainable change.
And essentially what the impact essentials are is that, right? It's the 10 different types of activities that we believe are required across performance and health to drive sustainable execution and change. And so that our clients, the value of what we're providing and what we identified for them is sustained and becomes part of their business as usual activities. Often these big transformations require senior leaders to fundamentally change how they're leading and behaving. And that's not an easy task, to ask someone to do.
If you go back 10 or 15 years, there's a sense of you have a couple big projects and you really need to focus on a small handful of things. And in that context, it doesn't quite matter as much to have the entire organization engaged and kind of rowing in the right direction. So if you take a Fortune 500 company, it's not going to be three things, right, that transform the company and to really get to the full potential. We find it's often thousands.
To make transformation happen at scale in the type of complex environments we're talking about, you have to do a lot of things. And what we have found is the 10 essentials is almost a really helpful checklist to think about, are we fully covering the bases of what we know is required for sustainable impact?
We look at the mix almost like you would in an asset allocation, thinking about your own retirement portfolio around the mixture of performance and health, the mixture of enabling initiatives versus kind of very clear, quantifiable, performance-oriented initiatives. And we're using our tools to track that relative to what best practice looks like, relative to what the nature of the underlying opportunity is. When you talk about 10 things that are impact essentials, they're essential, right? So a lot of times what we find is that some of the things just aren't being done at all. I've never shown up at a client, where they didn't have a whole host of performance improvements going on, right? That's just not the world we all live in, right? Everyone is always trying to be better, and no one's just kind of standing still. And a lot of times what we find is people are doing lots of things, but it's not really going to the bottom line to allow the company to reinvest in growth. It's a little bit like if you're running hard but you're on a hamster wheel, right? You're not going to get anywhere. Tools like the impact essentials let you take stock in the context of lots of things are going on, what's working, what's not, and being able to just pause and reset really does help.
As McKinsey has again moved towards being more of an impact partner, I think having essentially tools and playbooks like the Impact Essentials is enabling our consultants to spend more time partnering with, coaching, and serving our clients with a cookbook that is already there and that is battle-hardened and proven, as opposed to trying to figure out what the cookbook should be.
I mean, at some level, part of the excitement around this is that our jobs, right, and our personal excitement is around helping people and organizations reach their full potential in a way that's sustainable. For us, it's extraordinarily exciting and rewarding to see companies do things and accomplish things that they didn't think that they would be able to do. And we view some of these tools as a mechanism to help our clients do that.